Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Social Blade Show, episode number 18. Social Blade Show, social media personified, defined, and reignited. I am JD Rucker, not your host or anything else. I am just simply JD Rucker.
And I am simply Patrick Paris.
And I'm Victor Barrera.
I am Jason Urgo.
And Pat and I are simple, whereas Jason and Victor are the complex ones in the group. How is everybody doing? Patrick, tell me, how was your week this week?
Fine.
Excellent. It's beautiful.
Same thing for me, JD. Last week, he the show that, yeah.
No, actually, I got a very nice gift. I know I hung it up back there. Let me pull it around.
What you got?
I gotta thank Miss Linda D for this. I love it.
You didn't get powder, did you?
No, not powder.
Oh, that's awesome!
Holy crap!
Isn't that cool?
That is awesome!
You're kidding me.
Well, no, I'm absolutely the truth. How freaking cool is that? Now, one day, way down the road, when you guys turn 43, maybe she'll get one for you as well. How's that? That is awesome.
The artwork. This is the very first time that Erin Ryan, our missing guest, our missing host, has had her artwork on a T-shirt before. Very first time ever.
Who, yeah, definitely is missing again. We think probably she had another power outage. But yeah, we need to get the milk carton going. I didn't have it ready.
You know, I think that we should really consider talking to Erin about getting solar power. I mean, the sun does shine in Canada, doesn't it? Most of the time, at least, isn't it like 6 months out of the year?
No, not during this time of the year, JD.
Yeah, it's only 6 months, and not the winter. It's only
not in her hemisphere. Solar no work.
not in that stratosphere.
Great reception in the summer, and not so good in the winter.
Excellent. We had a great show last week. I did watch it. I was very impressed. I was absent. I was the absentee vote in the equation. As of that point, I was 38,000, 36,000 miles in the air at that point.
36.
I did actually record a video of myself during the Social Blade show. While I was recording, I videoed myself in the lavatory, the lavatory of the airplane, and the audio didn't come out very well. You could hear the people banging on the door saying, "Get the out!" And so I don't have any video for that, sadly. Anyway, Victor, how
Sounds like
doing?
me when I'm in a public restroom masturbating. Hurry up! I gotta go.
Too much information, man.
Yeah.
Right.
This show brought to you by. Never mind.
Okay, so yeah, there's a pretty good tidbit of news. Y'all probably heard of it. But the old blubbering man, Rupert Murdoch, has gone on his tirade as of late, saying, he wants to remove all his newspapers' index sites from Google. And, it's kind of outrageous, man, because, I mean, how ridiculously stupid do you have to be to just give up a quarter of your traffic just instantly? Like, hey, take all my news sites off Google. Boom. A quarter of your traffic just gone. And I understand, that within his vision, he wants people to pay for the content, which, to us is pretty much free. I mean, I don't remember the last time you tip-joyed or paid for any newspaper-related content, but, I don't think it's just... The train has already left the station. That it's just fundamentally too little, too late for Rupert Murdoch to really institute this sort of policy. And he's going on this tirade again because he's been talking about this for years. That eventually the internet is going to succumb to this model where people are going to actually pay for their content, stuff that we've been having for free just all along. And our mindsets are we're not going to pay for this stuff. That the day we start paying for the Times or for the Sun or for the well, I guess some people do pay for the Wall Street Journal, fair enough, but it's just not what the larger web audience is ready for. that no one is really going to pay to see daily news that they can pretty much get from any other news blog or news site. So for me, I think it's just a sign of the times. It's a sign of where Rupert Murdoch's kind of heading, psychologically, business-wise. I mean, the guy's got more money than he knows what to do with. Does he really need to charge for content that, his newspapers are producing? I sincerely doubt it. But the Wall Street Journal thing, that I understand. Insider business, whatever. Although that's for free too if you link through via Google News link. So, it is what it is.
The thing is, he's talking about pulling out from letting Google, get in free through the Google News also on that.
No, yeah, and that's what I mentioned before I started talking about how he was going to do this pay-for-content scheme, was that his response to the current ways things are was he was going to remove the indexes of all his news sites from Google, so that when Google can't index his sites and they stop showing up in Google News search results or Google results, that people would then have to go directly to his news site and pay to see the content that they want to see. And what I was saying is, well, if people are searching for a random big news headline in the near future when he removes all his sites from Google, then people are going to get all his competitor sites. And if he's going to be giving up, 25% of his traffic, which I don't know how much traffic that is exactly in the whole scheme of all his sites, but it's a lot. It's a lot of traffic. And if he's willing to give that up, if the opportunity cost of giving up those search results to basically another competitor, a direct competitor of his, if that's worth it to him to be able to charge for content, then so be it. But I just sincerely doubt that that's really going to be a feasible method going on forward, considering where the internet's at today, which is we will not pay for something that's already free. I mean, look at all the backlash that Hulu experienced a couple weeks ago when they announced that they might start charging for content next year. People were like, screw that. If Hulu ever does that, I'll just start using torrents, So people will be getting their information however which way and shape and form they care to, and they don't want to pay for it, and that's just the way things are.
I mean, can you blame them? I mean, they're getting up-to-the-minute, real-time news and sports scores and entertainment news and everything else, business world, quicker than newspapers are getting it, or as fast as newspapers are getting it. Why would they waste your time? What is the point of it? I mean, really, newspapers are almost obsolete at this point.
I know, but Rupert Murdoch just doesn't think so. I mean, he firmly believes that he has the next golden goose, which is paid for news-related content. And it's just not feasible. I mean, he can go ahead and tell Google to remove all his sites from their search results, but, fundamentally, he's just going to be giving all that traffic away to a direct competitor of his. I mean, why even do that? Why even bother doing that? Just deal with the way the current situation is, and just, trudge on through. Newspapers are taking big hits on all angles already right now, and he should just see his way through it, and maybe later on, if there's a more savvy way to be able to make money off his news sites, and so be it. But as it stands, people aren't going to be willing to pay for this content, which is fundamentally free from multiple other sources as well.
Today is September 12th, 2009, and I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Ooh.
Within 3 years, we will look back and say that Rupert Murdoch ruined it for all of us, because more and more channels, in conjunction with ISPs, and we're calling them channels because that's what it's going to, in my opinion, equate to, more and more of these news channels are going to be blocking off and making their money in this manner. Maybe not in the exact manner that we envision it, but it's funny because the idea, and I believe that there was a gentleman by the name of MrBabyMan who actually submitted a piece of content to Digg that was a satirical look at what will happen if, with the pay for internet, and if net neutrality doesn't work and all that good stuff. And it was actually not far from the truth. It was basically a menu of items that you could select, similar to a cable company, and where you would pay for particular pieces of content. And I do believe that certain, I would say 10, 20, 30% of the internet within 3 years will be paid content. 11/12/2009, J.D. Rucker, bold prediction. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're absolutely right. But I think that because of the failure of medias, and because of the decrease in advertising, that that's kind of the direction that it's going to head, and all the activity with the ISPs, all the activity with Obama, all the activities that we could spend an entire show discussing are all pointing in the direction of within 3 years, we're all going to be paying more for our internet than we are for our cell phones, or have the ability to pay more for our internet than we are for our cell phones. Not everybody will. Some people will just still use Yahoo and stuff like that, but others will not. So we'll see what happens. Digg, though. Digg, if they were to offer a paid service, many people would pay for it. I know one person in particular who would definitely pay for it. But we'll get to him in a minute. For right now, let's discuss Digg Trends. Launched last week. In my opinion, it has been a humongous success, at least for a beta of Digg. And let's use that as the qualifier. A Digg beta launch. Let's see. Comment system, decent. Dupe filter, non-existent. Digg bar, debacle. But now they come up with Google Trends, Digg Trends, which is basically the concept is when a story has the velocity of digs that are superior to what it would normally get for either that domain or that individual, or a combination of the two, the Digg trending algorithm theoretically picks it up and says, this is something that's a hot topic, let's throw it up on the front page for 10 minutes and give it the opportunity to either pass or fail. Either it's going to hit the front page or it's not during this time. Is this breaking news? Is this a trending topic? Is this something that's really, really cool? And the idea, the concept itself is brilliant, beautiful, and stolen, of course, from both Mix.com as well as Reddit.com. But so far, I don't know. I love it. I know that, Pat, I know you're not on Digg, but what have you had a chance to look at this at all? The trending topics?
Be perfectly honest with you, no. But I've read articles on it, and I've heard the concept is very intriguing. I don't really follow the whole 10-minute thing. I mean, can't that be gamed?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I know
well,
I could. I mean,
here's my answer to that. Here's my answer to that, Pat.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been playing around with this feature every time I see it on Digg, and I think it's utter genius because one, it lets you know how many people have actually clicked through and actually read, just taken a look at the article or have voted or digged it or buried it. And of the 800, 900 plus people that at any given point in time over the course of literally a few minutes would probably see it, and because it's like right smack dab in your face, so that you can't avoid it and it doesn't go away unless you access it. And I don't know if you have like 400 people that you can, I guess you probably have an IM list that large, just like some other people. But at the same time, like, are you really going to spend the time to get 400 people to dig that in the matter of a minute or two? I don't think so.
Nope, I don't think so either.
What about a Pigeon account? If you have a Pigeon, you could send it out to a mass quantity.
I mean, you can say the same thing with Twitter and get it retweeted and get people to look at it. But when push comes to shove, I doubt you're going to be able to offset the organic impact that something like that has on the natural Digg audience. I just don't think you're going to be able to counteract the whole of the Digg audience that is more altruistic, that is not really connected, that is just going to be like, oh, well, I'll check that out. And I think that's going to be a front page thing, because that's basically what Digg's doing now, is they're taking it out of upcoming and they're saying, oh, this is trending, this has been shared a bunch, this has been seen a lot, it's been, it's hot and recommended, and here it is right now. Like, here's the final phase. Like, it's either going to hit or it's not, and it's up to you to decide. I think it's really an exciting way to frame it.
What about this, though? You were talking about gaming and bringing Twitter into it there. Why wouldn't it work if you get a message out on Twitter, or you have an instant messenger list or something like that, and get, say, 100 people to immediately have them go to Digg.com, so you're not linking to anything directly.
Well, no, like I said, here's my answer, is that you have to look at the way this new trending system works. Digg will tweet this out. They have a Twitter account called Digg Trends or Digg Trending. And so they're going to counteract any sort of artificial inflation that you would be able to procure with the natural Digg audience, which exists on Twitter, which exists on Digg.
I actually think that that also one thing that we're not considering is that because it's on the front page, you can game Digg and get stories to the front page. But what happens if it doesn't belong there?
gets buried.
9 times out of 10 it gets buried. Now they're putting it right up top, front and center, in front of your face. I did a test. I actually went through and analyzed the first 30, and this is where I came to the conclusion that as far as a beta goes, from Digg's perspective, this is the best beta I've seen them roll out in long ever. So, I mean, this has been, it seems like it was very well thought out, very well planned, very well integrated. It's got bugs and flaws, but here's some of the data from the first 30, just off the top of my head, since I don't have the story in front of me. 30 stories made the trending area. 25 of those 30 hit the front page. Now, if you look at the ones that did hit, I would say there was one that maybe didn't quite fit as far as a Digg front page story. Guess what? It was buried. Of the 5 that did not hit, 2 of those were buried. 3 were not buried. They just didn't get pushed to the front page from Digg Trends. The thing that even prompted that entire analysis was because I saw a piece of spam. It was some MMA scorecard, and it wasn't like straight up spam. It wasn't that bad, but it was definitely not front page material. You know, the story about that particular MMA fight was decent, but it was already. I think it was either on the front page or close to being on the front page, and somehow this was able to sneak onto trending topics, got buried instantly. I mean, 10 minutes, gone. I think that the Digg community can be trusted when it comes to making sure that this doesn't get completely gamed. Is it going to ever get gamed? Absolutely.
Oh, I mean, sure.
It's going to happen, but
at the same time, like, I honestly think that the core of the organic Digg audience is really going to be able to offset a majority of gaming efforts. I mean, that's just my opinion.
All day long.
All day. Just T-Shed pointed out a tweet that the Reddit founder sent, and basically saying that based on Reddit's great experiment with rising content box over the last year, I think Digg is doing the right thing. So.
No, I think it's definitely a good step in the right direction in terms of revamping. How the upcoming system is going to work. Because at one point, and I'm still looking forward to this, hopefully within the next year, that Digg is just going to scrap the upcoming engine altogether, and there will only be the recommendation engine, which I think is the way to go.
I almost completely agree with you. I think that there needs to be something for new users, but someone who just will not get recommended. So there'll have to be some kind of offset based upon either domain or something. We'll get to that. Could you read that tweet again, Jason?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, while you're... Go ahead. It
says, based on Reddit's great experiment with a rising content box over the last year, I think Digg is doing the right thing.
So let's translate that. Alexis is saying...
Can I say this before I lose it off the chat? Because there's 2 points that were brought up. One by Spill Rust. He says, it's like Digg now or else. And then... Mark Frost brings up a good point. Digg Pictures beta, powered by Reddit, coming soon. Very well could be. And I mean, I think that's what the tweet is actually referring to, something along that manner. Am I not right?
You're right.
And by the way, Spill Russ, when do you want to see your avatar on Digg again? Let me take over your account. Or you could go to the Digg board and you can see it on the Digg board when you get on there.
And this section will all be edited.
Yes. Not on the Digg board.
Excellent. I'm not going to try to repeat my funny, hilarious joke of the night. It's totally ruined. Let's It was so well thought out. It's so perfect. Should I try it? I'm going to try it. Okay. So read it again. Read it one more time, Jason.
All right. One more time.
Never mind. I'll just go ahead and tell a joke. So a priest, a rabbi, and a bishop walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What is this? Some kind of joke?" All right, moving on.
I'm gonna use it.
The Digg trending topics is big news, but I think that overshadowing that big news is the fact that I am closing in on 500 front page stories on Digg. My username is Oboy. It's OBOY on Digg, and I am closing in on 500, which, despite hours and hours of my time and years of my involvement on the site, that still puts me at 1/8 of Andrew Sorsini, MrBabyMan, who just passed 4 flippin' thousand front pages on Digg. I wish we had him on. I would love to congratulate him in person right now.
Hello?
Hello?
Whoa.
Hello?
Muhammad, is that you?
Who am I speaking with?
Andy, this is Oh Boy. I'm Oh Boy on Digg.
Oh boy.
Have you heard of me?
I'm sorry, I don't really pay attention to anyone who's, below 1,000.
All right. Well, I
They
think
don't really mean much to me.
if you were if you were to take mine, First Dig, Victor Barrera, Genocide 312, Cracker Pat, and some others, we would be over 1,000.
I suppose then I could collectively talk to all of you.
Yeah, you can talk this in a Skype room.
As soon as
Hi,
one of you
minions.
leaves, though, I'll have to stop talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Andrew Sorsini from Digg fame, as well as a great show on Sundays at 3:00, the Drill Down, which is also shown on Ustream.com. Andy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling strong and full of life, and very happy to have hit this milestone, which is, as you mentioned, 5,000. No, I'm sorry, 4,000 stories on Digg. I almost, 5,000 is coming in a couple of years, I would imagine, at this rate. But 4,000.
4,000.
So yeah,
Good
I'm
golly.
feeling very. Actually, I didn't even. It's funny. I didn't even realize that it was coming up until I was reminded by Paul McNamara, who is Nas Rocketeer on Digg, and he wanted to do a
Great
story
writer. Yeah, he's a great writer.
in Network World about me, and he said, "Hey, 4,000 is coming up." I'm going, "What? What are you talking about?" And then I realized. So, I was just as surprised as everybody else.
You see your award that Aaron made for you?
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yes, I was about to Skype it over to. Oh, thanks. I was going to ask Urgo for the link. Urgo's had the link up for a long time now, as Urgo does, and
Well, check that out. Do I get to keep that award?
you do.
Oh, it's all yours, buddy.
Social Blade Achievement Award, MrBabyMan. How about that?
Hold on, I'm so sorry. I'm ruining this show. This is just so a priest, a rabbi, and MrBabyMan walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Get out of here, all of you, but MrBabyMan, because he's got 4,000 digs. Plus, he has the Social Blade Achievement Award, the very first one ever given out for his 4,000th dig."
Wow,
That's exactly what the bartender said. For real.
that's a better joke than the first one.
I know that was awesome. Hey, let me ask you a question. I think I asked you this before, but it was either you or someone else that I had asked, and I don't recall who it was. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you.
There it is.
What was your very first front page story?
It was a article. I do remember this because actually somebody has asked me about that. I'd written, and I had written about it before. It was an article about how Fatality, who is Jonathan. I can't remember his last name. Jonathan.
The pro gamer guy, right?
Yeah, pro gamer Fatality.
Yeah.
Got beat down at a tournament by basically a relative unknown.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like one of his first major beatdowns in gaming.
Do you know which game? Was that Painkiller, I think? Or was it like Unreal Tournament? It was one of
I
those
think
two.
it was the Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
I think that's right. If you know what, it may still be indexed in Google if you look it up. I'll bet you it is. But that was my very first front page story, and it was years and years ago. Back in, was it 2005? I think.
I think this
Number 20, 2005.
This.
What's that?
Go ahead, or go ahead and hear you.
December 27th, 2005. So it was that day or after.
Okay. Excellent. That's.
What was the biggest? What was the biggest one that you most digs?
That's I don't really have the stats on that, but I'm guessing it's probably the 2 pictures, 2 kinds of goodbye.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that is your most dug article that you've submitted thus far.
What,
I
they get,
believe.
like,
I may be wrong, but I'm
13,000?
sure it is.
Got about 13,000, right?
13,000? Yeah, that's got to be it then.
I think no. That's what I was asking. I remember it. I had actually saved that one and linked to it from a couple of blogs because it really was one of the most impressive things I've seen on Digg as far as just impressive things I've seen. Period. It's one of those I would consider top 10 easily. Best compilation photojournalistic pieces where the picture really says everything you need with one headline or caption, and then the images combined to just say everything that you need to know.
And it was ironic thing about that is it had nothing to do with. I mean, it wasn't taken by a journalist. It was somebody's own personal pictures. And it was on Memorial Day that I posted that. It was actually a very calculated submission.
Yeah, well, it was very effective,
It
and
paid off.
it touched a lot of people, I'm sure. Hey, what do you know about Kazakhstan?
What do I know about Kazakhstan? I just saw a pictorial that the Big Picture did about Kazakhstan, and it was.
Your 4,000th front page, if we.
That's right.
Kazakhstan.
That was my 4,000th front page.
You know, I have spoken to the Kazakhstan government, and similar to what happened with Bill Clinton in Albania, they're actually going to erect a MrBabyMan statue in the capital city of Kazakhstan. As
just like what you see on the screen right now.
Yes, they're going to have They're going to have the Social Blade Achievement Award 2, but your face is actually going to be where the water cooler is. It's
and they can use the spigots to partake of my wonderfulness.
Exactly. They don't really have water there. And I don't know if you knew about that. It's something to do with their radioactive legacy, and so as a result. They will be using that water to bathe and to drink, and it's going to be pretty much a universal water spigot of knowledge. They're going to bathe their babies in it, too, in honor of MrBabyMan. Okay, I'm going way too far.
Not be prouder of that.
That went way too far. Hold on real quick. Let's get back to the video. So
you know what? I found the. I'm going to paste the link. I found the first Digg, the first story that I ever put on the front page.
Well, I cue that up.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, I wanted to tell you something real quick. So I got Death Wish in here. He and we started off on Break, and the reason I'm telling you that is I would submit stories to Break, and we found out about this site called Digg.
Yeah.
And we thought that if we would submit these videos that we were submitting to Break, that we would get more views. Therefore, we would be gaming Break by getting onto Break's front page. So what we do to get more views is submit them to Digg. Well, I actually had like 11 or 12 front pages before I even knew what I was doing.
Dude, you were so ahead of your time. You were backwards. You didn't realize how backwards you were. You were like.
Well, him and I both figured this out. We talked about it. I mean, believe me, it's not because I'm smart all by myself. I need a lot of help.
I'm trying to come up with a proper analogy, but that's kind of like, hey, you know what? If I just pick the winning lottery numbers, then maybe I will be able to
sell a video. I'll be able to sell a video of how I was able to pick the winning lottery numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually.
I mean, had it back. I mean, we would get the front page all the time. Then I realized, well, I'm doing it wrong, and I I started coming over to Digg, and people were more impressed with the front pages that I was getting on Digg. And I didn't even have an avatar. People were like, "Oh, thank God you finally got an avatar," even though it's a old lady with hamburger on her face.
Oh yes, I remember that avatar. I loved it. I remember. I remember. It's funny because you got when things happened and went awry. Um, that was the very first time that I knew that you were a guy. An article in nowsourcing.com that was like, oh, okay, wow. So Pat is male. Excellent. Now, I want to take a note real quick. One thing. There's a couple things to actually note. One of the things that I can say about Andy, knowing him for a couple of years, is that there's never been an attempt to game the system. We were talking earlier about Digg trends getting gamed. People can game Digg, or at least try to game Digg on a regular basis. Andy has never been a gamer when it comes to trying to artificially promote his stories or anything like that. He finds great content, and it was early on that this was noted, because as you can see, I have on the screen Andy's very first front page from January 7th, 2006, and it got 1,948 digs almost 4 years ago. Now, back then, there was maybe a good front page story might get
users total on the site.
I mean, a front page story on Digg back in
40 on Digg, amazingly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was it?
There was 1,948 people on Digg at that time.
Yeah, and they all loved the story. Andy has always had a talent for that. But just put it in perspective, back then, we're talking about that. Your average story would get like 140 digs. After it hit the front page, or then there would be some that would get 500, 600. There were some that broke 1,000, but to get 1,900 would be the equivalent of a 5,000 plus today, probably. I'm sure. Back then, it was also more tech oriented, of course. So something like this was very juicy, a juicy tidbit of news, and Andy was always able to find it. Not only has Andy been able to get the number of front pages, but his average. As far as his average number of digs per front page is phenomenal compared to others. It's over 1,000, and it's been over 1,000 for a long time, which most people, I think my average is in the 400s. I can honestly say I know my two best. I know my three best most high dig count submissions, and one of them was given to me by Andy. He said, "Hey, you want to submit this? It's a good one." And I just submitted something. I said, "Okay." Another one was given to me by Muhammad Salim, and the other one was stolen from a former Digg user, Reg Zaibatsu Sadler.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, he gave me one. So I personally am very bad at finding content. Very, very bad. Andy is good, and good to the extreme. So he's great. I did some estimates, and we were trying to do the best that we could to determine what this all means, what 4,000 front pages really means in actual numbers. And we came to the conclusion that basically you have sent approximately, if we're talking about page views, and Digg is notorious for not having strong page views, but if we're talking about average page views, Andy has sent approximately 184 million page views across the internet over the last 4 years, which... there's Google, okay, then there's Facebook, then there's MrBabyMan. This is actually a proven fact. So, congratulations on that part too.
Yeah, and if you compare Digg to Twitter, you can basically present it as this: having 4,000 digs on 4,000 front pages on Digg is the equivalent of having 5 million. Followers on Twitter. Wouldn't you agree?
So in other words,
I mean, you're that far ahead of everybody else.
There's Andy and there's Ashton Kutcher.
Actually, you know what?
Is way down the line.
If you do a Google search for king of all social media, that's exactly the way it's laid out in the search results.
King.
It's me and then Ashton Kutcher.
Social.
Yeah,
what is Ashton Kutcher really know? Don't even get me started. MrBabyMan, king of all social media. Let's get that one on this. Let's take a look at this. In the meantime, please, anyone in the audience, this is your opportunity. Andy only comes out once a year. And every 1,000th front page, this is the only time that he actually comes out publicly. So if you have a question
like
for
Groundhog.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say this is Groundhog Day for Digg.
It's Groundhog Day. So if you if you have a question for Mr. Sorsini, please let us know. Patrick, take it away from here. I'm going to be reading the story real quick.
Where are we going?
Well, you're gonna take him along the. Oh, go ahead, Urgo.
I was just gonna say I was just looking, since you were talking about how many digs your most popular story got. I was just trying to see what mine was. My most popular one got 5,482.
That is so freaking weak. That's just awful.
Nothing like the 14,689 that you got, Andy.
Well, I'm unable to track the exact number on mine, but I know that Andy was the one that gave it to me, and I've told this story before, and JD and Urgo were the ones that helped put it together for me. Andy came up with the storyline, and Urgo gave me the video from YouTube, the best version, and JD pushed it through Twitter. I didn't have to do anything. This big bag of bingo comes up and sings a song, and you wouldn't believe it for the life of you. I was so drunk, I was talking about how I wanted to do her, and they're talking about, listen to her voice, you idiot, pay attention. Why is this guy even around? And then it ends up being the Susan Boyle story that
That's right.
It just went ballistic.
That's right. Well, Andy, while we and please, everybody, if possible, Andy, I would like for you to stay and talk about some stories with us, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, I'll stay as long as I can.
Beautiful. And if any questions for Mr. Babyman, please let Urgo know via the chat room. Andy, of your 4,000 submissions, have you ever submitted a site called hothardware.com?
I believe I have submitted hothardware.com on several occasions, and I can't remember offhand what the stories were, but I know at least a couple of them hit the front page.
I actually know they have. Hothardware.com is a refuge for many top users in social media to not only find good quality content to submit to social media sites such as Digg, or to post on Twitter, or to Stumble, or to add to Reddit. It's also an excellent source for reviews, tests, just general information that helps you to make your decision. As a result, I am proud and happy to announce that I am getting my first official Hot Hardware approved computer tomorrow. So this will be the very last episode
Nice.
of the Social Blade Show that is not on a hothardware.com approved computer. Dave Altavilla over at Hot Hardware actually walked me through. He helped me to design the ultimate computer to be able to run the Social Blade Show on. And he told me to tell everyone, if you have any questions about computers, that you can call him directly. I'll be happy to give you his phone number after the show. So just hit me up. Actually, I think we're going to go ahead and post it on the socialblade.com/show blog. We'll put Dave's personal phone number on there for you to call him directly and get all of your information about buying a computer. He's welcome to it. He's opening up a hotline. That's none of what I just said is true. I'm not really going to post his phone number. But hothardware.com is the place to go if you really do want the information. That's hothardware.com. Oh, YouTube. We only have one person here who is a really true YouTube expert, and that is Jason Urgo. Tell us about YouTubers getting something with creating I Got Nothing.
Yeah, basically, it was a great plan from this person named Charlie McDonald, who is this kid that lives over in the UK, and decided to basically do something for charity over on YouTube. So with the help of the BBC and Children in Need, he started this idea to do a music video, basically, completely done on YouTube. So what he did was he created a channel called Chartjackers Project on YouTube, and sort of put out the call to get lyrics and everything else. So basically the lyrics for this song were made up from YouTube comments, all compiled into a song by another YouTuber. The lyrics were released on YouTube, and then YouTubers wrote the melodies for the lyrics, and they were all put online, and the favorites were picked from that. They held auditions on YouTube through video responses to pick the people to be in the band. I found a producer through YouTube and basically did everything. Oh, and then the music video they put together is all different people from YouTube as well, all pieced together into this great, cheesy pop song. And basically they have two goals with this project here. One is to try to get into the British top 20 charts. I'm not sure exactly which one, or maybe I think it's to get to the very top of the UK charts. And then their other goal is to raise as much money as they possibly can for the charity Children in Need, which is through the BBC, like I said. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I looked up Charlie from YouTube.
Yes.
And this is what I got.
You got nothing.
Ouch!
Oh, Charlie.
Ouch, Charlie! Ow!
So I don't think that's the right one, is it? That's not the Charlie you're talking about.
No, that's the wrong.
Call social services.
Although
He's doing it again.
if Charlie is biting someone, biting another child, that is a child in need, but not the right.
Hey, did you guys? Speaking of that, did you guys hear the auto-tune version of that?
Oh no! They auto-tuned Charlie bit my finger?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let me send the link, and then whoever can play that.
Put it into, yeah.
There's the link. It's pretty sweet. It's done by the same guys who do auto-tune the news.
You know, we should have an auto-tune show.
Oh God, no.
Where
I'm
we're
not sure
all
that
auto-tuned.
that would sustain. That would have a very long life.
This is the
I think we just
Social
lost a
Blade
viewer
Show.
after you said that.
I've tried myself on auto-tune. I actually sound like Cher. Yeah.
Never.
And I
tried
sound
it.
like Chastity Bono when she was 14.
Chest. Oh, never mind. Not going.
Was there something you can get to do auto-tune or something?
Yeah. You can auto-tune. Heck, you can get an iPhone app for auto-tune.
That's right.
It's everywhere.
No, I thought.
It's
What?
everywhere.
It's T-Pain's official iPhone app.
Oh, that's a good app, though. I must say.
It is a good. It really is.
I've thrown down some pretty good cuts on that app. It's pretty solid, you know.
The deceptive thing about that is that it's a full implementation of AutoTune in an iTunes app, but it's got this, very user-friendly front end, and it's deceptive.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it only costs you $3. I don't know if you can see that, but you can slightly see T-Pain's picture there. But that's what it looks like.
Well,
The last 10 weeks of my life have consisted of working with 3 of my friends from YouTube and the amazing YouTube community to try and create.
I'm gonna put that up on video here in a second. And kind of jumped ahead of myself there. I just have to say about the iPhone that you can get auto-tune, you can bump, you can do so many things, but you just can't do Flash. I just don't get that. It makes no sense. But that's another topic.
Yeah, they're coming out with all other phones, but not the iPhone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nah, it's maybe we should probably get some of those guys on the show to talk about this stuff, because it is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put out the invitation. Steve, if you guys want to come on, please, you're welcome to. We can discuss the whole Flash thing, and you can explain to us why and what all is happening. Right now, I'm going to play a portion.
Yes, next Steve Jobs. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
Oh, Steve listens. I've asked him. He's all about us. He knows. He's tight. We roll, and I'm not name dropping. Hold on, real quick. Boom. All right.
YouTube community to try and create a charity single. The song is called I've Got Nothing, and the whole thing has been created with nothing but the goodwill of the people of the internet. The main aim of this project is to try and raise as much money for children in need as we possibly can. But the project's called Chartjackers, and at the same time we're trying to see if we can get this extremely cheesy pop song, completely different to anything that's in the charts at the moment, into the UK charts. This is the guy that made the music video. It took him a week, so he hopes you'll like it. Here it is, I've Got Nothing.
I'm not the best looking, I'm not the best dressed, hey, I don't know. I've got nothing, give me a chance, I'm better than the rest, hey girl, listen up. I've got nothing, you know love ain't forever. I've won the greatest prize, and I feel it's now or never. When I look into your eyes, I've got nothing, can't you see me, baby? Look into my eyes, see I'm acting crazy. Nothing left for me, the lights are going out. I've got nothing, can't you see me?
Okay, I can't do that anymore. But that's awesome.
You get the picture.
That's awesome in concept.
Sure, especially if you're in the UK, to go to iTunes. There'll be a link in our show notes that has a direct link to go. But if you're in the UK, especially, it's 99 cents. Just help out the cause and the charity.
You know, I like
It's a good cause.
I like charities. I like causes. I'm glad that people are able to do stuff. But the thing that I don't like sometimes is just how this world has gone to just popularity and just silly stuff, you know. Has anyone here ever had a dad?
I think maybe we've all had a dad at one point.
Well, that's a good thing. Maybe more than one. There's I can't say it out loud because it's just too insulting to me, but we'll call it blank stuff your dad says gets a TV deal. And
That's right. They're getting a CBS deal, right?
Yeah. Justin Halpern, a tweeter like you and I, created an account called Stuff My Dad Says, and tweeting out what his 73-year-old father would say. People found it hilarious, and he got noticed, and with a book deal and a sitcom on CBS.
The creative Will and Grace basically are on board to produce the show.
Like the Will and the Grace?
The Will and the Grace. I don't know. I've never actually seen the show, but it is a show. I've heard of it. And yeah, they're going to be on board to produce it into a family sitcom.
A family sitcom called Shizzle.
Yeah,
Shizzle Your Dad Says. That's
it's
awesome.
going to probably be tuned down a little bit, but yeah.
So it'll be Stuff or Shizzle. I like Shizzle. What's the
Shizzle My Dad Says? I don't know. It just doesn't have the old school ring to it.
What about Shizzle My Dizzle Says? Yizzle?
That sounds right. That makes a little more sense there.
Did we record that?
This could go one of two ways. I think this could either be a tremendous failure if it just capitalizes on the gimmick of the stuff that his dad says, but if they really take the time to develop a good ensemble cast, it could spiral. It could exponentially spiral out of its source material.
You know, they should, if this works, then they should probably make a show about the Geico cavemen. You know, because that's about the same quality.
Well, at Social Blade here, we actually have jumped on board as well, and we came up with a new Twitter account since one of our co-hosts here is just so funny, we think. So we have Stuff My Pat Says as well. We just started out. So we've had one so far, but we're going to be filling this with anything Pat says that's funny. So yesterday, when we were preparing for the show, Pat goes, "Jumped off a cliff." Is that like slang? Is that like a slang way of saying taking a dump? I'll be right back. I'm going to go jump off a cliff now.
And the beauty, for those who don't know Patrick, he's serious.
He's got some classics that we got to add on there, though.
I mean,
I remember he asked a question to Andy a while back, and it was just the most outrageous question I've ever heard. We got to add that one for sure.
I do remember that one.
I mean, but the thing is that this stuff comes out, and it's like for reals. I mean, he's not being serious. I'm not saying that he believes this stuff, but it's like so natural, so not planned out. It just comes out of his mouth and here enters our ears, and we roll for a long time. That's just how Pat rolls. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Maybe Patrick should get a sitcom of his own. I think he should. You know, speaking of sitcoms, we are moving up in the world, and we were able to speak to and get a scoop of information from one social media CEO and founder. And no, it's not Kevin Rose. I can tell you that much. Mix.com CEO joined us for a brief time, and during that time he was able to give us a little bit of information. We'll call it a little teaser to upcoming events and stuff like that. We only have him on audio today. We're going to do a full interview in the very near future, but for right now, let's just see what Chris is saying. In the meantime, and as far as for a visual, we're going to show Chris as hothardware.com. Not that he's associated with that, but while you're looking at something, you might as well look at that, because it's good stuff. Hold on. Here we go. Today we have a special guest. Founder and CEO of Mix.com, Chris McGill, has joined us with a special announcement. Chris, what do you got for us?
Hey, JD, how are you, man?
I'm great.
Hey, thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to get in a date in a couple of weeks to talk to you about the differences, the uniqueness of Mix.com and what we do, and how you can leverage your site and to get traction on Mix, and also what we're doing with TweetMix, which will help you leverage not only traffic from Twitter, but traffic off of Twitter, but still leverage the work that Twitter is doing on all things digital.
Excellent. That's very exciting. So we'll have you on here in a couple weeks, and you can tell us all about it.
Dude, I'm totally stoked about it.
Yeah, I am too. I was one of the first. I would say I was probably one of the first 2,000 or 3,000 users on Mix, and I've always been so interested in the concept and the follow through. And now lately, it seems as if it is completely heading in the right direction. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thanks a lot, JD. Man.
No problem. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Okay, fellas.
And that was Chris McGill from Mix.com. He won't be on our show next week, as we already have a guest scheduled for next week, but he'll be on our show shortly thereafter. Patrick, do we actually have a time schedule? When is Chris going to be on? Do we know what week?
No, not yet. Next week we have a potential guest. We had a potential guest this week, but unfortunately, drastic change in plans. He had to go take care of something with his family related. And, it's all good. I understand those things. We all do. Not anyone else's business what happened, but we all know and understand what happened. It was you didn't have to ride a moped, Steve. Yes, and we plan on talking to Russ Palmer, Spill Russ, and having him on here at one time. And we did talk to Chris tonight. It's not Russ Palmer. What's his name?
It's Russ Palmer, that's right.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Okay.
If it's not, we'll find some Russ to get on the show by next week.
Yeah, next week we're planning to have Jason from I Wear Your Shirt on, and the week after that is Thanksgiving, so we're going to be taking a break from the live show for Thanksgiving. But we can definitely stick Chris in if he's available right after that on December 3rd.
Not that we want to say that we'll use the term sticking guests anywhere. I mean, it's more of we'll take the honor and privilege of having them on, just as we did with Andy. We didn't just stick Andy in tonight.
Oh, no.
Not at all.
No, I wasn't a last minute replacement for your announcement.
Well, let's remind everybody that we do have guests lined up that range from Lemon Drop, the people from Burlesque. We have the people. What was the one Twitter site that we just covered? that you so admirably made me my own account. We could potentially have Go Boys on here, have Emmett and Zach on here. It's not rolled out.
Boy.
Then we're planning on doing a holiday special with all our previous guests that were on the show. Just a highlight. We haven't quite figured out how to do it.
I know.
It might have to be a 2-hour thing.
On the 12th episode of Social Blade, okay, never mind.
Exactly, yeah.
I wish I had auto-tune just now. It would have been so much better.
You gotta play that Charlie Bit Me clip.
Oh, did you send? I'm still waiting for the actual link. I don't have the socialbladeshow.com.
I got it here. I think this is it. You got JD.
Beautiful. Which I think, unless anyone has anything else, I think that's how we will close out the show tonight. I wanted to thank our guest, Andrew Sorsini, Mr. 4000. One more thing to point out.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Can you mind if I plug a couple things?
No, not yet. I mean, yes, I do. I'd like to thank our audience and thank our sponsor, HotHardware.com. And Andy, when you're not doing the Social Blade Show and when you're not digging, which is very rarely, what else do you do?
What do I not do? I'm on The Drill Down, which airs live on Sundays at 3 p.m. and we go. Our shows get distributed on the following Monday. And I want to remind people that we are having a contest from our sponsor, Isle Gear, where you can win a $349 portable media player. And all you have to do, if you go to thedrilldown.com, we have details in that top, as a sticky in that top post there. But I also want to announce that I have started a new YouTube show called Social Media Sociopath. And basically, it is the wit and wisdom of Louis Bauer, who a lot of people here know. And we are going to be unveiling the wit and wisdom of Louis Bauer periodically over the weeks to come. And he's got some very interesting things to say. So please join Social Media Sociopath and subscribe. And it's going to get good. We videotaped some stuff last night that is just insane, off the hook stuff involving Louis and a electronic Bronco Bull machine.
That's going to be good.
No wonder I couldn't get a hold of him last night. Thanks.
Oh, I saw that. I saw it live. It was pretty hilarious. I just gotta say.
I have a question on that too. When you're done, Andy.
Yeah.
You know what? I think before you say anything, Pat, I just want to say that if we were ever able to get Patrick and Louis on the same night out, the universe would explode.
I'm not sure they're not the same person.
That's exactly if I can make it there, and I get drunk on stuff. Can me and Louis pee on stuff, and we do stuff like that, and then just start randomly beating people?
Andy will take a video of you guys peeing on each other. How's that?
No, I'm not into that. We said anything about that. Guys get drunk, they pee on stuff. It just happens. It's part of the food chain. You deal with it. People drink beer, they gotta pee. Sometimes they make it to the back, sometimes they don't.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
They're not peeing on each other.
There we go, sorry. I was prepping the end of the show, and it ended a little bit quicker than I thought. Andy, back to what you're saying about IOGear. Will that piece of equipment from IOGear, will it be empty when you give it away?
You are the one that always reminds me of this, and I should know better. No, the portable media player, when the winner gets it, it will come preloaded with every single past episode of the Drill Down on it ever. Nice. So you have the complete Drill Down collection preloaded in that machine when they win it.
Excellent. I would say.
Hey, Andy, is there another show that you're on during the week?
No, I don't think so. Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? The Roundup. The Roundup is the show that I do with Greg Davies, who's CGT 2099. And we basically we cover music, and we do a song, a movie clip, a movie trailer, and then we talk about what's going on the Drill Down and a Social Blend podcast.
Very good. That's what I wanted to hear.
I think I'm all plugged out.
There you go.
Well, it's time to unplug Andy. Thank you again for being on the show, Patrick. Where are you if you're not blading?
I'm just working now.
You're
Digging's killing me.
You're not peeing on stuff.
No, you know what? I do use Stumble. My Cracker Pad account's doing well on Stumble. So if you need me to stumble something, you just send it my way.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to figure out how to work that.
Tell us your home virtually, Urgo.
Probably the best place if you want to follow up on what I do day to day is head on over to twitter.com/firstdigg.
Nice. And what is your vector, Victor, online?
When I'm not on the show and not doing a little digging, at least in the near future, right now, I'll be playing some Modern Warfare 2. So if any of y'all are really into that game,
I just got it today.
It's pretty good.
It's
gotta
sick.
say.
It's sick.
Infinity Ward just knows how to make a good game. So add me on Xbox Live. It's SoCal683.
I think that we have a discussion point for the after show already. With that said, thank you, guests. Thank you, HotHardware.com. Thank you, Andrew Sorsini. I am JD Rucker. You can't find me on the internet, so don't even try. And with that said, I'll go ahead and leave us off with a little bit of Auto-Tune Charlie. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, and don't forget, we are Social Blade.
Thank you all.
Oops. What a poor transition. Look at that. That's awful. I'm ruining it. I'm making it even more comfortable.
Goodbye.
I'm making it more uncomfortable by talking about how I messed it up. Jason hates it when I do that.
I do. He's like half the video here. Just scroll up.
I know. Just scroll. Just do it.
There you go. You got it.
Now turn the volume on. Turn the volume on.
And that really hurt.
Holy cow.